What I was thinking of to get started, it's just everybody, we can go one by one. If you wanted to just introduce yourself, talk a little bit about your history in the LGBT market, and then we'll kind of just go through the round so that everybody has a little better understanding of who we all are. And so how about jump over to London to Christopher, and especially because it might be getting late out there. You might get tired. We don't want to lose you.
It's not that late yet. So I'm Kenna. I'm CEO and founder of a group of companies, one of them being Brand Advance, which is a diversity media network, the biggest in Europe. And so we work with like Google and L'Oreal and Diageo and the British government and the French government and the German government, etc., to help them all reach what would be considered the others. So whether that's LGBTQ plus or whether that's Black, Asian, Pakistani, religion, disability, 50 plus, etc., etc. So all the others. And so, yeah, Brand Advance. They also run a media consultancy, which is partnered with, I don't know if you know, Ubiquity, which is a massive big media consultancy used by all the big agencies in Europe. We've built a partnership media consultancy, diversity media consultancy with them. So just sort of working with the WPP and OMD, etc., making sure that now, you know, diversity media and spending and having diversity as part of the core strategy of every campaign for every client, always on kind of thing. And it's, I think, this side of the pond, Europe and the UK especially, but Europe, I think we're a bit ahead of you on your side in that it's now becoming a core part of every single campaign that leaves any brand. So if it doesn't have Black on it, there is uproar. If it doesn't have LGBTQ plus on there, there's uproar. You know, it gets called out left, right, and centre from government. It keeps coming up in Parliament where they're sort of naming and shaming companies because they're not doing this or they've done, you know, sort of bad campaigns. So I think we're moving a bit faster, but you know, you've got your own problems at the moment. Hopefully it'll disappear in a month, but I know you're going through, you've got the Antichrist, you're taking him out. But yeah, don't get me wrong, we've got our own problems as well. Like, you know, Boris isn't the best, but yeah, that's what my company does. It's sort of, we've only been around, we're new kids on the block, you know, we've grown really fast. There's 100 staff now. We only started a year and a half ago. It's sort of, the right thing, the right time, with the right momentum. And then obviously me, a very gobby leader, leading a Black gay guy, sort of making sure that I call out anybody at any time if they're just not doing it. Which is how I met Matt. Did we meet in New York when I was there as well? Did you say hello in New York?
Yeah, there was during Pride, during the British consulate was doing an LGBT event.
Yeah. Because I went on a trade. It was sort of the British government did their first trade mission just for LGBT founders to New York. So you got to sort of stay with the British ambassador in New York, and they introduced you to everybody, and you know what I mean? It's like I said, you know, normally yous are flying before us on things, but I think when it comes to sort of diversity media and making, or not diversity media, let's say more reaching diversity, you know, making sure that that's a main staple of everything. I think, you know, that's one thing that the British government and a lot of European governments have actually got right. It's just a whole load of other stuff that we didn't get right, but that one seems to be working.
Before we move on, tell us a little bit about advertising, because I don't think everybody knows about that group.
Yeah. So advertising, it used to be called Pride AM. There's a Pride AM in the US now and in Canada. So, but advertising is, so I sit on the board of that. It's basically the LGBTQ plus governing board for the media and advertising industry in the UK. So it's a board of CEOs, etc., that are all LGBTQ plus, that hold agencies and brands to account for representation of the LGBTQ plus community within media and advertising. So whether that's ITV and a drama, or whether it's Google with an advert, you know, right through to not only chastising the ones that are not doing it well, but also holding up the ones that are. Like, I don't know if you've seen the Starbucks advert for a transgender name on a cup. Did you see that over there?
Yes.
Yeah, you should check it out if you haven't seen it. Awesome, really good. You know, that's one of the sort of things that we champion and say, okay, this is how you can do it well, you know, something authentically. So yeah, there's some good influential people from the UK, like Mark Renicus, etc. Who's just got an MBA. Don't even know how he got that. Somehow he must be able to buy MBAs, but but you know, he is a founder of one of the biggest agencies here in the UK, gay guy, and you know, people like him that have really. It's a good place as well to, because you were talking about connecting. You know, it's been a good place to meet other people. I was in the army for 10 years. You know, I went to Iraq twice. I went to Afghan. I got married. I've got 2 teenage kids. I've got a 19-year-old daughter and a 15-year-old son. You know, I had a whole nother life. And then I got blown up in Iraq, woke up. Well, I was in a coma for 8 weeks. And when I woke up out of the coma, I dreamt that I told everyone I was gay. Didn't know it was a dream. And when now ex-wife tried to kiss me, I'm like, get off. Like, you know I'm gay. And she didn't, because it was a dream. I was in a coma. But anyway, so that sort of snowballed this other life, you know, and then I got into media, etc. And there's, you know, I'm a bit gobby, so I wanted to change things. But having groups like advertising, you know, meant that I could get to know other people. Like, I know it sounds a bit cliche, but, you know, when you spend your whole life in the army, you know, I joined when I was 16, you leave when you're 26, nearly 27. Like, I'm 30, 38 now, but you've got a lot of catching up, you know, professionally, but also personally as well. And like trying to find friends that are like you in that, you know, because we all know just going down into, well, for us, it's Canal Street, but whatever it is, Chelsea in New York, or where's the gay district in New York? But you know what I mean? Just going there isn't going to make you friends. It's just going to make you a whole load of people that you can get wasted with. But you've got to like try and build an actual real web of friends and contacts, and advertising was really good for that. So yeah, I'm waffling a little bit.
Fantastic though, but thank you so very much.